Today, I want to talk about something that shapes the lives of so many high achieving women, leaders, physicians, and professionals. Something powerful enough to alter decisions, shrink dreams, and quietly dictate the path we take in our careers and lives. And that is the fear of failure. Fear of failure is incredibly common, but often deeply misunderstood. Most people think it means being afraid to make mistakes, but research shows it's much more complex than that. It isn't simply about the fear that something might go wrong. It's about the meaning we attach to failure, the stories we tell ourselves, and the consequences we imagine. Fear of failure says, if I mess up, it will say something terrible about who I am. If I fail, it will confirm the doubts I already have. If I fall short, people will see I'm not as capable as they think. This is why fear of failure has such a tight grip. It's not just about outcomes, it's about identity, self worth, and belonging. Psychologists who study achievement motivation describe this beautifully. They explain that our behavior around goals is shaped by two opposing forces: the hope for success and the desire to avoid failure. When fear outweighs hope, even the most talented, capable people hold themselves back. They procrastinate. They avoid challenges. They choose work that feels safe rather than work that stretches them. And sometimes they stop reaching for their dreams altogether. Later research helped explain why. The fear of failure isn't just one fear, it's a cluster of fears: fear of shame, fear of embarrassment, fear of disappointing others, fear of losing respect or status, fear of being seen as incompetent, or fear of confirming our worst beliefs about ourselves. This explains why highly successful people often experience fear of failure more intensely than others. The more you've achieved, the more you feel you have to lose. Now let's talk about one of the biggest amplifiers of fear: perfectionism. Perfectionism sounds like a commitment to excellence, but for many people, it is actually a defense mechanism. It says, if I can make this flawless, no one can judge me. But perfectionism creates an impossible standard, and when the standard is impossible, failure feels inevitable. That pressure leads to procrastination, avoidance, overworking, burnout, and chronic self criticism. Think about the last time you worked on something important. Maybe you kept editing it long after it was good enough. Maybe you put off starting because you were afraid it wouldn't turn out perfectly. Maybe you stayed up late trying to get every slide, every word, every detail just right. That's perfectionism fueled by fear. It drains energy and kills creativity. The fear of failure also shows up in imposter syndrome: the belief that you're not as competent as others think you are, that your success isn't truly earned, and that at any moment someone might find out. People experiencing imposter syndrome often believe that failure would expose their deepest insecurities. This makes even small tasks feel high stakes. Now imagine living like this day after day. Every presentation feels like a test of your worth. Every new opportunity feels risky. Every piece of feedback feels threatening. It's exhausting, and it affects not only individuals, but entire teams. Leaders who operate from fear tend to over-control outcomes, avoid innovation, and unintentionally create environments where others feel afraid to take risks. Let's also look at what's happening inside the brain. When your mind perceives a threat, like the possibility of embarrassment or judgment, the amygdala activates. This triggers stress hormones like cortisol. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, your thinking narrows. This response is great for physical danger, but not for giving a presentation, launching a new project, or having a difficult conversation. This is why fear of failure can make your mind go blank, or send you into spirals of self-doubt, or make your body feel on edge even when you're safe. Fear of failure is also fueled by cognitive distortions, thought patterns that sound true but aren't. These include catastrophizing, like, if this goes wrong, everything will fall apart, or mind reading, like, everyone will think I'm incompetent, or all or nothing thinking, such as, if I'm not perfect, I'm a failure. These thoughts feel real because they are emotionally charged, but they're not factual, and they can be challenged and changed. One of the strongest antidotes to fear of failure is adopting a growth mindset, the belief that skills and abilities can be developed over time. With a growth mindset, failure is not a verdict. It's information, it's guidance, it's feedback. And research shows that people with a growth mindset take more risks, learn more deeply, bounce back faster, and ultimately achieve far more than those who fear mistakes. Another powerful tool is self-compassion. Many high achievers believe that being hard on themselves is the only way to succeed. But research tells us the opposite. People who practice self compassion are more resilient, more motivated, and more likely to try again after a setback. They do not collapse under pressure, they rise from it. Self compassion lets you acknowledge your humanity without collapsing into shame. So, how do we apply all of this in real life? Here are practical, evidence based strategies you can begin using right away. First, name the fear. Instead of saying, I'm stressed, ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Naming the fear reduces its power and helps you see it clearly. Second, run small, safe to fail experiments. Don't overhaul your entire life. Start with small actions that test your beliefs. If you fear that no one will care about your idea, share it with 3 people. If you fear public speaking, start in small groups. Each small action creates evidence that contradicts your catastrophic thinking. Third, use implementation intentions, simple if then plans. For example, if I start procrastinating, then I'll work for 10 minutes. Or, if I feel overwhelmed, then I'll pause and breathe. These scripts help you respond intentionally rather than reactively. Fourth, replace rumination with reflection. Rumination keeps you stuck in shame. Reflection moves you forward. After a challenge, ask yourself what actually happened. What did I do well? What can I learn? This builds confidence rather than eroding it. And finally, surround yourself with people who normalize failure as part of growth. Being in community with others who are striving, learning, stumbling, and improving creates psychological safety. It reminds you that you are not alone and that failure is part of the human experience. Here's the truth I want you to take with you. You do not need to eliminate fear of failure. You simply need to change your relationship with it. Fear is not a stop sign. It is a signal that something matters to you. It means you are stretching into a bigger version of yourself. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move forward even when fear is present. Every time you challenge a limiting belief, every time you take one small step, every time you treat yourself with compassion instead of criticism, you weaken the grip of fear and strengthen your ability to lead, create, and rise. You don't have to be fearless to succeed. You just have to be willing, and you already are. Grab my free leadership workbook at powerofpeacefulness.com. Until next time, take a deep breath, embrace the present moment, and keep walking your path to peace.